Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. How to Take Smart Notes by Sönke Ahrens introduces a practical approach to note-taking designed to improve learning, thinking, and writing output over time. Rather than treating notes as passive storage, the book frames them as an active system for developing ideas, making connections, and producing publishable work with less friction. Ahrens explains how a structured workflow can turn everyday reading, lectures, and observations into reusable building blocks for essays, articles, research projects, and creative work. The central method is inspired by the slitbox practice often associated with the Zettelkasten tradition, emphasizing small, meaningful notes that link to each other in a growing web. The book focuses on process more than tools, so readers can apply the technique with paper, digital apps, or a hybrid setup. Its promise is simple, consistent, thoughtful note habits can compound into clearer thinking and more confident writing. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, note-taking as a thinking system, not a storage system. Ahrens argues that most people collect highlights, summaries, and folders of information that rarely turn into usable insight. The book reframes note-taking as an external thinking system that supports understanding, idea development, and writing decisions. Instead of treating notes like archives you might search later, the method emphasizes creating notes that are already written in your own words and already positioned inside a network of related ideas. This shift matters because it reduces the gap between consuming information and producing output. When notes capture the meaning of what you learned and how it connects to your ongoing questions, they become prompts for future work rather than dead ends. The system also makes progress visible. Each new note strengthens the web of references, enabling unexpected connections and better recall. In practice, this means focusing less on perfect organization by topics and more on capturing individual atomic ideas that can be combined in many contexts. Over time, the note system functions like a partner in conversation, helping you discover what you think and where your argument might go next. Secondly, the core workflow, fleeting notes, literature notes, and permanent notes. A key contribution of the book is a clear pipeline that separates different kinds of notes and assigns each a purpose. Fleeting notes capture quick thoughts, observations, and questions as they occur, with the expectation that they will be processed soon rather than kept forever. Literature notes record what you are learning from a source in a selective way, focusing on points that matter to your aims rather than copying large chunks. Permanent notes are the end product, standalone notes written carefully in your own words, containing one main idea and ready to be linked with other notes. This separation prevents two common traps: hoarding raw excerpts and trying to write polished notes in the middle of reading. By processing notes from raw to refined, you gradually transform information into understanding and eventually into material you can publish. The workflow also creates a sustainable routine because each session has a clear next step: capture, process, connect, and expand. Whether you use index cards or software, the method emphasizes deliberate processing, not merely collecting. Thirdly, linking ideas to create a growing web of insight. The slitbox tradition highlighted in the book relies on links between notes rather than rigid hierarchies. Ahrens stresses that the value of a note increases when it is connected to other notes, especially when the connection is explained rather than assumed. Linking supports deeper learning because it forces you to ask how a new idea relates to what you already know. It also boosts creativity, since new combinations often emerge when distant topics become neighbors through cross-references. The book encourages adding context to links, such as why two notes belong together or how one challenges the other, so that future you can understand the logic quickly. This approach also reduces the need for perfect categories, which often collapse under real research where ideas overlap. Instead, a note can live in multiple conversations through multiple links. Over time, the network becomes a map of your thinking, showing clusters, gaps, and recurring themes. That map can guide what to read next, what questions to pursue, and which arguments are becoming strong enough to write. Fourthly, writing becomes an outcome of the system, not a separate struggle. One of the book's most appealing claims is that writing gets easier when it is treated as the final stage of a continuous process rather than a single intimidating event. In Ahrens's framework, you are effectively writing all the time. Permanent notes are mini texts with clear claims, reasoning, and references. Because these notes are already organized through links and built around your own understanding, drafting becomes a matter of selecting a promising trail of notes and arranging them into a coherent sequence. This reduces blank page anxiety and makes progress more incremental. The method also supports better arguments because it exposes you to competing ideas and counterpoints already present in your note web. Instead of relying on memory, you can consult the system and see how your thinking has evolved. For academic work, this can translate into more reliable citations and clearer structure. For professionals and creators, it can lead to faster production of reports, blog posts, talks, and strategy documents. The deeper point is that good writing is the result of good thinking, and good thinking can be supported by a robust note practice. Lastly, tool independence and habits that make the method stick. Ahrens emphasizes that the technique is not tied to any specific app, notebook, or productivity trend. What matters is the habit of processing notes into permanent, linkable ideas and maintaining a workflow you can repeat under real-life constraints. The book's guidance helps readers avoid over-investing in elaborate setups that look impressive but discourage consistent use. Instead, it promotes small routines. Capture fleeting notes quickly, process them regularly, write permanent notes with care, and always add links that explain relevance. This habit-based approach aligns with the reality that learning and writing are ongoing practices, not one-time projects. The book also implicitly addresses motivation by making progress measurable. Your slip box grows with every meaningful note, and that growth becomes a visible record of effort. For students, it can turn reading assignments into future essay material. For researchers, it can prevent losing insights across projects. For knowledge workers, it can build a personal knowledge base that stays useful even as roles change. The result is a durable system that scales with your interests and rewards consistency. In conclusion, this book suits students, academics, writers, and knowledge workers who want their reading and research to translate into clear thinking and dependable output. It is especially useful for anyone who takes many notes but still feels stuck when it is time to write or study, because the method focuses on processing and connecting ideas rather than collecting information. Readers can benefit by building a long-term thinking system that improves recall, strengthens arguments, and makes writing feel like assembling prepared material instead of starting from scratch. Compared to many productivity and note-taking guides, Ahrens offers a coherent end-to-end workflow with a strong emphasis on turning notes into publishable work. The approach is also tool-independent, making it worth buying even if you switch apps or prefer paper. Its value comes from the compounding effect. Each well-written permanent note becomes a reusable asset, and the network of links becomes a personal library of insights that keeps getting smarter over time. If you would like to support Sönke Ahrens, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.